Hello everybody, welcome to part 2 of my 100% sync walkthrough for Assassin's Creed Unity. This is Sequence 1, Memory 2. And this mission teaches you the basics of parrying and dodging attacks, which end up becoming critically important later on in the game. So be sure to get these challenges completed and make sure you understand these systems in this mission. Thank you for your continued support. Your likes and comments mean a ton to me, so let's get into the mission.
Thrown out onto the street yet?
Oh, you would love that, wouldn't you?
It'd break my heart.
Olivier, if I weren't here, who'd do all your work for you?
The horses need brushing, boy. Get to it.
Certainement, monsieur.
Serre de la Serre, wait! Nom de Dieu. Nom de Dieu, nom de Dieu.
Some trouble, mon ami?
A letter for Serre de la Serre. It's very important.
Oh, calm yourself, Perrault. That letter won't reach Monsieur de la Serre any faster if you drop dead of exhaustion. Give it here. I'll catch
You
him.
must receive it today. It's very...
Very important. Yes, I heard you the first time. I'll see that he gets it.
Now we're into the meat of the mission. The meat and potatoes. We gotta chase this carriage right here. And we're still kind of, this is still kind of tutorial. This is still the first sequence, so there's nothing too hardcore yet. The challenge later on, it's actually much later. The two 100% sync challenges are very, very late in the video. There'll be a timestamp in the bottom to tell you where to go exactly in the video. And I'm gonna do that for all of these actually. All of these videos in this walkthrough just have a little timestamp at the bottom telling you like right where to go to if you're struggling with a specific challenge, because I would assume that most of the time you guys are going to be able to complete these challenges or most of the challenges on your own, but there may be one or two within a long mission that is actually a little bit tricky and that you may not want to watch the entire thing. So just look in the description for those timestamps to save yourself a little bit of energy.
Excuse, on Carriage. What I need is a bird's eye view.
Now we get to do our first sync point of Assassin's Creed Unity. God, I love doing these. All right, I've got to know, because I feel like everybody has a first thing that they do when they're playing a new Grand Theft Auto game or a new Assassin's Creed game. And I think I would assume that most people are kind of OCD like myself, and the first thing they do when they play a new Assassin's Creed game is climb every view sync point, or at least like do a large portion of the map. That's what I do. Like, what do you guys do first when you play an Assassin's Creed game? Do you just like stick with the story mission and like do every single story mission until you know that you have the whole world open and then start doing side quests and stuff, or do you do what I do and like clear the entire map and just get all the sync points right away, or do you kind of like mix and match and not necessarily just stick to one kind of objective for the entire time? God, there's something insanely satisfying about doing those sync points. I think it's the reward of getting that awesome cinematic view at the end of it, combined with the little bit of effort you have to put into actually getting there, because that one's pretty straightforward. They do end up getting a little bit trickier later on throughout the game, but they're never complex by any means. They're never complicated puzzles the way that some of the murder mysteries or Nostradamus enigmas are actually genuinely puzzles. But then this part right here, the swan dive off the top, I think the fact that it takes a relatively long amount of time to get to the top, and then that's completely just wiped out by how quickly you can get to the bottom. I don't know. Those two factors juxtaposed, I think, makes it very satisfying to get those viewpoints. So right now what you got to do is you have to sneak into the building. The entrance to the building is directly behind that waterfall. This is a very basic tutorial on sneaking, and and using crowds to blend in. Not much to it here, as long as you're not killing people. I think you get kicked out immediately if anybody sees you here, so you're not going to be able to fight your way out of any conflicts in this point. Just stick to this crowd here on the left and make your way to the back. There's going to be one guard kind of patrolling left and right in front of the door, but the view of for just guards that are just so the blue markers on the map, those are the police. And I don't know if they have different AI or different ranges of vision than the enemies that have red markers, but they certainly, their field of view is very small, unless they're protecting a high value target and have rifles, because there are some enemies, and you'll see them marked on the map as an enemy with like where his little teardrop marker is. There'll be kind of a cross and an X in the middle of the teardrop marker, and those are enemies that are ranged snipers, and those guys actually do have an insanely good field of vision and can see you like a rooftop or two away. So what we're doing now, making your way to the back of the room, make your way all the way around, and then pop your eagle vision. And this checkpoint up here, I've actually had kind of glitch out. What you're supposed to do is just go to this balcony up here on the at the end of this hall right here, and every once in a while it just takes a minute or so to actually activate and start this cutscene.
Finally! On a été la cause. Not these two again. Must have tailed me from the estate.
Et a rendu plus sensible leur inégale répartition. Une inquiétude générale. Un désir exagéré.
So, who or what will take its place? Another king? A council of capable men?
That is the question, isn't it?
A truce, then.
What the devil was that about? Now, we can resolve this without recourse to violence, can't we? Get him, Yuko!
Now we're into the challenge section of the mission. This is where they teach you how to parry with the B button, which is basically when an enemy is attacking you, you block their attack and then do a very small counter attack to kind of put them on their heels. And this counter attack actually does no damage to them. It just kind of staggers them and puts them in a place where you can very easily attack them. And be sure to understand this, how this mechanic works and how to dodge. It's not really too important until you get to about sequence 7 or 8, when enemies actually start blocking your attacks. Until then, it's pretty easy. You can just mash on the X button. But after that, when enemies can counterattack themselves, it ends up being very, very helpful.
Not your day, is it, Victor? To your health, gentlemen.
You, boy! Stop! What are you doing there? Running!
Now we're doing the first tutorial on guards and how to use line of sight to avoid getting chased down and having to kill these guys. So you can just, I think you can just kill those 3 guards right there, but if you follow this path up here on the left, or, I mean, there's a million different ways to escape. You don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing here. You just have to get out of that yellow square on the mini-map to leave the area, and then as soon as the mission, or as soon as you escape the guards and aren't wanted anymore, this is essentially Grand Theft Auto at this point, where you have a 2-star wanted level and they're chasing you, but they'll forget pretty quickly. As soon as they forget, that means you have escaped the area and the mission is over. So thanks for watching this tutorial video for the second mission of the game. Thanks for watching, and game on.